And we are back for the final Dirt Racing Series race day. Today they've got us racing two separate stages. The first stage is an individual time trial in the Macquarie Islands on the Two Villages Loop. And then 30 minutes after that, we're racing Scotland Smash in Scotland, of course, a regular points race. So it's kind of a weird format. They put the two last stages on the same day and put them back to back and make it tough. The time trial is an individual time trial, so there's no, basically it's a bunch start from the pen with no drafting. So everybody's riding their TT bikes, and so it's effectively an individual time trial, but you're you're in a pack with all the other riders. And then the points race is a regular points race. As in the previous DRS races, this is a silver and gold VeloScore group. And unfortunately, I'm at the bottom of the silvers, so I'm racing against the entire range of silver riders plus the entire gold riders. So I don't really have much hope of doing very well here. There are sprints and FTS segments in the time trial section, which is also kind of weird, but they mean nothing to me. I have no idea. I have no ability to win those. They only give places to the first 10 people, 10 places. They only give points to the first 10 places. So it's not really even on my radar. So for me, this is just a finishing position and hopefully, not being last. The weird thing is, again, the half an hour between the rides. So this is the time trial is 13 kilometers. So if we, at an average of 26 kilometers per hour, you can do it in half an hour. Pretty easy to do more than that. It's a flat course, so definitely be doing a higher average than 26 kilometers per hour. But still, it's not a whole lot of time between the races to finish this, teleport to Scotland, switch bikes, get yourself cooled down and ready to go for the next one. So kind of an interesting arrangement. So let's see what happens. As we start here, I'm in the front row of the pens, and I pushed pretty hard in the start. I wanted to get up to speed as quickly as I could, so I'm not wasting time, coming up to speed. You quickly see that, I'm overtaken by the real deals here as we go along. So I start out pretty good, but it doesn't take long to start drifting my way back into where I belong. So as we get going here, you can see I'm making my way back to the back. You can see some of my teammates going by there, right there and there. And I'm working my way back to about 50th place. I think I pretty much hang out at around 50, give or take a couple of places throughout the rest of the race. I meant to mention, you saw there a gravel section. I did not know we were doing that. It was kind of a surprise. There's another gravel section coming up, but I didn't realize that we'd be doing a time trial on gravel. It doesn't really affect, it affects everyone the same. It basically just makes the road a little more, a little slower. So it just makes you go slower, but not really a big deal. You can see the average speed there. I'm doing 37 on the flats, pretty much 37, 38 on the flats. When it climbs up a little bit, it slows down, obviously, and speeds up on the down. So, it was obvious that it wasn't going to be too tough to make the cutoff. The guy in front of me, it's hard to see, but Shep is another teammate of mine, and I pretty much chased him the whole race until the end. I tried to get on him in this little climb here. I thought I could stay with him. It was a really weird experience normally, you know, I can push a little bit and get somebody's wheel and get in the draft and ease up a little bit. It was weird, since there's no drafting in this race, it was weird to not have that ability to give a little dig, push to get on somebody's wheel, and then you could rest a little bit. It just, you know, nothing ever happened, nothing changed. So it was odd in that sense. But here you can see 49th position, 50th, back and forth. People come and go around me. There's another guy going. At this point, I'm just trying to hang on to my 50 place finish. Swap places with a couple of guys. I get to 51, 52, but I'm catching up to this Steve guy and another guy, and get to 50, and I can see at the end here, Steve really puts on the hammer, and I really have to work hard to hold him off for the finish for 50th place. So yeah, whatever, I'm happy with that. Off to Scotland. So I make it to Scotland with about 10 minutes before the next race. Plenty of time, you know, in hindsight, but had to go in and switch my bike from the TT bike, actually from the steel bike, because TT bikes aren't allowed. So it defaults you to the Zwift steel bike. So I got to switch back to the Aeroad. I left my disc wheels on initially. We in the team, we were talking about what wheels to use, whether you use discs for aero or a little lighter climbing wheels. The course is not really that climby. Zwifter bikes suggested discs. I started second guessing myself and wanting to be a little lighter so I could climb a little better and hopefully stay with the climbers a little bit longer. The trade-off being it's harder to stay in the draft because you're, you know, in the flats and so forth. So I actually think it may have been a mistake to switch away from the disc. Probably maybe should have kept with them, as you'll see later on what happens. But I ended up switching to the 65s, and you know, we'll never know what difference it made, but that's what it did. And here we are at the start, getting ready to leave the line. Kind of a typical start. You know, start at the front-ish and work my way back to the pack. This time I'm trying to stay with the group, with varying degrees of success. So here it goes. Staying with the pack, I get to the back and you'll see a lot of surging here and there. It's hard for me at this point. I'm definitely feeling the previous race and having to put some digs in to get to the pack. This is the first pass through the Clyde Kicker. It's tough, but happy to stay with it. But I had to fire my arrow just to stay with the group here. Again, really struggling to get back on. And the pack surges and, you know, lets me back on and then strings it out again and lets me back on. So a lot of back and forth during this part. And you can see I'm, you know, coming off a little bit, surging back in, resting, but I'm really feeling it. And a couple of times through here, I drop off and feel like I can't make it, and things string out, and then I come back on and use a power up to get back on and give myself a break. But it's tough. And at some point here, I think I get through this little climb, and then lights go out right here. So from here on in, it's pretty much of a solo. And again, I'm 47th place here, pretty much the same position as the previous race. And at this point, I'm just trying to hold my position. I think I end up yeah, Momo goes by me. But this Opolansky you see at the bottom, he's back around 15 seconds, and these guys come through. I try to hold them for as long as I can, but I really can't do that either. But leaving me with Opolansky back behind me by about 37 seconds, and all I want to do at this point is not let him catch the last 5 kilometers here. So I'm keeping an eye on his watts and the time gaps, and as we go up and down these hills, he'll, as I hit a climb, he'll catch up. I go over the climb, I'll stretch it back out, but basically just trying to maintain this position and not let him catch me. And as you can see, it seems to work out. It gets close, gets up to about 15 seconds or so, but he basically runs out of room, runs out of road, and there's the end of the race right there. So yeah, 53rd again, not too bad. I'm not last. Held off some people, soloed my way back into the end. It's over. I finished. Yeah, overall, I'm not sure what I think about the dirt racing series. It's kind of a perfect storm about my positioning, and I just sort of wound up in a bad spot for my power profile and lack thereof. So it didn't work out, but it was all right. So thanks for watching. See you in the next one.